So this is one of those deals where, you know, the customer asks you how much, and you say, well, it took me 4 hours. And then you show them the fix. This is what fixed it. They're like, huh? Hey, John here. We got this Exmark dropped off. It's the symptoms are with a thing, you could start the mower, but when you try to engage the PTO for the blades, it quits. So that's where we're at. I'll show you that in a second, but the fella thinks it needs a clutch. I don't know why, but we'll get to that. I'll go ahead and show you what's going on here. Alright, when the fella was over here, you could start the machine, and then he would go to take the brake off, and it would stall. Right, so he was messing with this, and you just a few times back and forth, and it would stay running. So he ended up putting a switch in there, a safety switch here. Didn't solve the problem, but I can hear it clicking back there. But it can't get it to go intermittent now. It won't stay running. As soon as you let the brake off, it stalls. So we're gonna have to address that first. This might be a multiple problem thing here. We'll get to that. But when the thing was running, the brake was off, and it was running. As soon as you would engage the PTO, it would also stall. Alright, so I got this panel open, and I was just looking for something obvious. Nothing's obvious. I mean, everything looks like it's intact, or, you know, I was looking for some kind of, I don't know, ground wire or something. Because I believe this is a ground issue, because as soon as you start this and move that lever or the PTO, the thing quits, as if you're doing a kill switch or something. So there is one thing, another clue. That clutch, the fella brought over a new clutch, and he thought it was a clutch issue, and when it got here, the belt was off of the clutch. So I think these are two separate issues. He bought a clutch thinking this problem is clutch related. I don't think it is, just because we put the belt back on, and that belt can fall off. I don't know, you grab a stick or something, it could get derailed. I just have a feeling that's not even in the picture. I think the clutch is fine. So I'm back to what I think it is a ground problem. So the trick here is to find out, because these mowers, like all mowers, have there's a switch at the handlebars. Obviously there's a switch right here for, you know, your brake. This is the switch for the brake. There's a switch for the seat. There's, you know, multiple switches. So I have a feeling it's just a switch, and we just got to locate it. So I don't know what the best way to go. I mean, you know, like I said, it's a ground problem. It acts like it's a kill switch. So we can go off the engine and go this way. In other words, where we could check, you know, to see if everything is, this white wire is most likely the ground wire, you know, hooked to your coils. And then when you turn your switch off, it just grounds everything out. So we can work this way backwards and find all the switches and just keep chasing wires. I guess I got to do that, and I'll let you know my findings. But I'm leaning towards it's a switch or a wire that's grounded out or open or something. Okay, it's been about 3 hours for me. This one was a doozy. So I did start back here at the engine. I went to the relays there, you know, just fiddled with the key on and off, and the solenoid just touching them. The relays were working. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but I was just following it this way from the engine back, the ground wire in particular, and ended up on a wild goose chase and doing everything. The problem is underneath this. These two bolts or screws here hold a module, which I was completely unaware of, because I mostly do residential stuff. This is a commercial mower, which this module talks to a, you probably can't see it down there behind the ground. There's a ugly looking switch there. It's got, this is probably battery corrosion, that white stuff, but that round switch with the wires going to it, here's some wires here, is apparently a mercury switch for if this thing leans over one way or the other, it will kill it, right? So I have a feeling that's the culprit right there. And I don't know about getting a mercury switch. I don't know how much they cost. So we're going to bypass this. And in order to do that, so this wire comes from, you know, like I said, I traced everything. It's under this fella here, this main lumen here. I'm going to have to take everything apart. Well, you got this little wire here. That goes to the mercury switch, right? But this wire that I'm holding also goes to this module, and this module is called a delay, some kind of seat delay module, right? So honestly, I don't know which one is bad, the module or that mercury switch. But where that thing lives, I'm leaning towards that switch is bad. I have a feeling they have to talk to each other, but that's the problem. And I'll show you what I'm going to do to lick this. We're not going to get new parts. You know, I doubt the guy that owns this wants a seatbelt module and a mercury switch, whichever one. Have no idea how much they cost. Didn't even know they existed. But let me show you how to remedy this. Let me put this seat down here. All right, we're just going under the seat here, and like I said, these two bolts or screws right here. What the hell am I looking at? Nothing, I guess. These two screws right here are holding this module on. If you go right underneath here, that I don't know if the light's coming out. That blue mechanism, this whole thing is the module right up in here, right? And instead of taking it off, we're just going to unhook this this little connector here. All right. So we got a blue and tan, right? And also a ground. This is where I ended up with the ground. I was chasing. Hold on a second. What am I doing? I was chasing all the grounds. This is where the sucker ended up. I didn't know it lived here, but we don't have to do nothing with the ground because there's multiple grounds. But what we're going to do is take these that looks like light blue and the tans, and we're just going to put them right together. Just splice them right together, butt connect them, whatever. And this thing should work because I did jumper. I jumpered it between the two, and I left the ground alone. Everything seems to be working. So that's what we're going to do. So this other wire, this fella here, you know, I guess this goes to the mercury switch. I guess you can unhook it once, or it doesn't matter, leave it hooked up or whatever. Once we jumper this, everything should be fine. So let's check it out. Okay, I changed my mind. I was going to clip that harness there and just wire them together, but I'm going to leave it up to this fella. I'm just going to use a little jumper wire and some spades and just plug it into that connector, because like I said, I'm not sure if it's the module, the seat module, which most likely it's not. It's probably that mercury switch underneath. So it'll, you know, instead of clipping that harness, he can replace the if he wants to, the mercury switch. Well, I don't know if it fixed it yet, but based on my preliminary stuff, so this is what it sounds like. Let's see. Put the brake on. So there is to it. So again, it's just the light blue and the tan. There is a ground wire. I'm not even going to mess with that because, like I said, there's multiple grounds on this. That particular ground was grounding the module, and you know, we're not using a module, so it's just a dead end. Like I said, the guy wants to fix it properly. He can. I'm just going to show him where it is and what the fix was, right? Alright, so I was just adjusting this emergency brake for the fella because it was rolling all over his trailer, and then I tried to do the old handlebar thing and it quit, so you're gonna have to bypass them too, apparently. Just, you know, where the switch is for the handlebar, just take that out and do the same thing I did up there. I took that back apart thinking, uh-oh, maybe a bad connection, but yeah, so this is all we're gonna do is two spades, male spades, right? Bend them up, stick them in the hole, and we're done. So we got the seat module, right, which also leads to that mercury switch, the rollover switch, tilt, whatever it's called, and two handlebars bypassed, right? I'll tape them up, tuck them under, zip tie them. This thing should be good. But this fella's on his own. I mean, you know, the blades are going to run. You know, everything's bypassed. So, and I called him. He said he's okay with that. The only thing that's not bypassed is the handlebar or the handbrake there. That'll still operate as normal. So you can't start it without the. At least there'll be that safety where you have to have the brake on to start it. Yeah. So anyways, everything's bypassed, and this guy's going to be good to go for now. If he wants to get some parts, you know, it'll be easy to hook up, because you know we're just using jumpers. We didn't splice or cut into the harnesses, so we could put everything back to factory the way it was if he wants to get some part. But anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.